Chat, here we go. It's the beginning of Masked Duelists. I wanted to be really careful as we got the match started to make sure that we didn't leak anything, and I don't think we have. As Orange team will score first. Now, they're going to be called Yuri, at least for right now. That's a bot name. It's just an account that I have given both players. We've done this once before. It's alt accounts. At some point, it might switch it to the actual names, which is basically orange and blue. But we have code names for everybody playing the tournament. Let me bring it back one more time before I get too deep into this. A little flustered to start what is going to be a very nice tournament. So we have 8 players. 8 players playing in a single elimination tournament. All of them for this tournament are playing on US East servers. It is for $500, winner take all. No one is going to know who's playing. The players don't know who's playing. All they know is themselves. They're going to be guessing at the end, and we'll reveal everyone who is playing after the grand finalist wins. So once we have a champion, we'll reveal. You guys will get to guess along the way after each match as well. And then it's just a little fun hidden identity. These guys don't get to know who they're playing against. Who knows how much that will help them. We'll probably be seeing them all play on Octane because they are playing on alt accounts that do not have Phoenix. So they will probably be playing on Octanes the whole way. I think when you have a new account, you also get maybe the Merc and the Breakout. In theory, they could decide to play on the Merc and Breakout as well. But it is just going to be Octane for the most part. Now, the code names of the players today are Endo and Vulcan. Endo and Vulcan, you'll see the account names did just switch back to Feer Orange and Feer Blue. But I'm really excited to see how this goes, especially just being 1 minute into this one. I don't know. It's just such a fun thing to do. Chat did a good job when we did this in the very first sequence of it, but we did it with the players' actual accounts, and chat did a good job of cheating. They went and found out ways to cheat and basically proved to me that we cannot do it with their regular accounts. They have to log on to alt accounts. There's no other way to hide their identities. And so when we did it on alt accounts, chat was not so good, as Feer Orange or Vulcan is going to get a nice reset shot to tie up the game. So chat went 0 for 2 when we had everybody fully actually hidden. We'll see how they do in this tournament going forward. The pros were able to guess each other, though, which was interesting to see. And I think one of the elements that could be really fun about this that I actually didn't really think about much before is you could get scared. You know, there are some players that have big reputations as really talented players, and the players who are playing against them now, they just see an Octane on the other side of the field. I don't know if that's going to help them play. Maybe it might psych them out. Who knows? But as of right now, Vulcan up 3-2 as they launch a long shot from their back corner. Feer can't fool us. I know this is Johnny Boy versus Feer pre-recorded. Yeah, you got me. You got me as Feer Orange take it to the skies again. This time Blue challenging off the ceiling in an attempt to take it away, but could not get down low enough to make a proper challenge. The EU Servers Tournament is going to be on Monday and Tuesday of next week, which I think is July 20... What day is it, that chat? I can't think of it off the top of my head. For those of you who are just checking back and maybe watched this a long time ago. It's in the 20s. But one thing that I do want to point out when I mentioned it, I think maybe on Twitter and on a YouTube post, they said, oh, you should include MENA. You should include the Middle East. You know, the Middle East is really good at 1v1 as well. And this is always the case, but I'll say it every time if people need reminding. When we do an EU server tournament, it includes the Middle East players. I'm not not inviting them to the tournament as Vulcan trying to pop off right now. Endo needs to get this counterattack. They played it a bit slow, but a fake should result in a goal. So credit to Endo for making it work and punishing Vulcan on their aggressive aerial attack. Reward the player who best guesses the hidden players. Yeah, I might give them an additional prize. I was thinking about what prize I would give to each player who guesses correctly. But I'm not sure what it would be. Endo, a little flick and landing zap dash to follow it up, but the ball lost control. Going to be handed over to Vulcan. Dark would be immediately obvious. Who do you guys think would be the most obvious player? I mean, it's got to be Dark. I mean, I agree that Dark has got to be number one. Who else do you think you'd be able to instantly recognize as Endo going for a pre-flip flick? Just completely lost control of the ball. Gengar would also be super obvious, yes. Gengar is a good shout because these guys do set up their own camera settings, and we do watch from their camera settings. So if they had something insane... Ooh, Endo needs a bit of offense, as it looked like Vulcan was maybe going to pull away, but a reset at ceiling heights and a ground pinch goes flying past Vulcan, as Vulcan just barely not able to land back down in time. Endo delaying a flick of a musty. I think Endo needed to get out of that sooner. It was clear that no matter what kind of flick they were able to get, that Vulcan was going to be able to stop them. Vulcan going to ceiling height does not want to deal with a full field dribble, but a mistouch from Vulcan. And now Endo has a chance, but Endo on 0 boost just gave an opportunity that they did not need to give. Vulcan had made a mistake. Endo tried to swing around the corner, maybe grab a demo. Looks like they focused too hard on the demo, forgot about the ball, and allowed Vulcan to make it a 3-goal game once again. In before Feer flubs and lets a name slip. Yeah, honestly, for me, a great tournament is one where I somehow don't leak any of the players. Endo, random wave dash in the attacking half. Somehow does not get punished. Endo reacting to a fake challenge quickly. And Vulcan counterattacks to make it 8-4. So there was a moment in which it seemed like maybe Endo was on their way back. But Vulcan seems clear in this game number 1. Players from every region we are guessing. You know, I've said this a few times, but I almost want to stop saying it and just let people not even have the hint, because I love not giving people hints. But this is the North American tournament. These guys are playing on US East. So you can continue to guess, you know, Middle East and EU players for these players. That's fine with me. Maybe they are playing the US East tournament. Endo down 5 with 23 seconds left to go. Just trying to get something going. Vulcan wanted the sidewall double. Game 1 going to Vulcan. While it was close early on, a couple minutes in, I think they were still tied neck and neck. Vulcan pulls away. And game number 1, I'm going to quickly switch off so you guys don't get a chance to see the ping. Endo versus Vulcan, game number 2. And you can once again see why I did not go bot names, because now they're named Cougar and Outlaw. But it'll switch before long based on my experience. Certainly, the pressure is on Endo to try and find a way to get back in the match. Vulcan launching the long shots. Seemed like maybe there was a window open. But Endo will make it back. Endo on 0 boost. Not going to be able to pre-flip to this in time. Vulcan will start with an early lead. Endo off the back wall. Vulcan was down close, so there's a chance to punish. A good catch, but Vulcan just locked in on the demo. Knew they could take him out. Get a clean opportunity. It's going to be a demo right back from Endo. Now a ton of space. What does Endo do with space? Interesting touch to the side wall. Clearly Endo wanted to play it in the air. Maybe didn't play it as cleanly as they needed to. Vulcan, no sidewall double. Vulcan, the demo and the goal. The physical play pays off as Vulcan taking a 2-0 lead. Endo sidewall dribble. Reset at ceiling heights. Vulcan has gone to the ceiling. Double reset, gets stolen clean. And it should just be a freebie. Vulcan has been defending the aerials from the ceiling every time. And because Endo is setting them up so high, it's allowing Vulcan to be able to take them away. You've actually seen a progression in the aerial game from the way that Endo is setting them up right now, which is perfectly at ceiling height, to actually a more middle of the arena type setup, because it makes it harder to challenge off the ceiling. And honestly, it's something that Endo maybe needs to think about. Vulcan gonna make it 4-0. Vulcan absolutely popping off now on a full field double, landing and popping it over the top of Endo. If Vulcan is Forky, blink twice. Did you just ask me to do something with my facial expression when I do not have face cam on? You know what? I'll go ahead and adhere to your request. And if you can somehow see me live in person, then I guess you have a little bit of a hint. Endo not able to get their dribble started quick enough. Tap out to the midfield. And then a long shot to lose possession. I think they probably needed to hold on to that for a bit longer, and that's just a free setup. Vulcan's going to take it away. Endo, I'm sure, does not feel good about this play off the back wall. That's not what you want to be doing. Just put it on an absolute platter for Vulcan. Vulcan little landing zap dash might be the reason why they get the first goal scored on them. Getting a bit greedy as they wanted to finish off with a bump, and they didn't connect. Endo able to sneak out underneath. Endo, another bump should lead to a clean possession. I want to see Endo holding onto possession a lot longer instead of trying to get it up early. Interesting air dribble into resets. Not really attacking heavily on Vulcan's net. Vulcan in the air, pre-jumped by Endo. Actually stopped Vulcan's air dribble, but did not stop Vulcan's possession. 0 boost for Endo. Vulcan also launching the ball away and losing possession because of it. But continuing to play keep away on an Endo who's had 0 boost for what feels like minutes now, ever since they scored their goal, and there'll be another one for Vulcan. So this is heavily in favor of Vulcan. Endo got to get Brazil'd here in game number 2. Looks like once Vulcan got going after the first couple minutes of game 1, it has been all Vulcan the rest of the way. Vulcan going crazy now. You should reveal the loser each series. So I talked about this before. There is the forfeits. We will switch off this because I think things might pop up, but I will end the game. Quick chat, who says next like that? I did not realize Dude was a bot name. Because now it says Gerwin and Dude are playing. Game 3. Vulcan and Endo. It has been all Vulcan all day. And we will see if Endo can change the pace at all. Has anyone guessed it yet? I haven't been helicoptering chat, so I don't know for sure. Endo with the first possession off kickoff. Double jump over the top of Vulcan. And an early goal. Endo needs to be careful with their possessions because they have come sparingly. Vulcan able to chip Endo with the tail end of the flick. Got the bump and therefore got the goal. Only a 12 boost flick. I don't think it was necessarily Vulcan's game plan to go for the bump. But it's going to work out. I like to see this from Endo. A little mix-up on the kickoff, and it actually was pretty close to being a goal for Endo, even though it ended up being a goal for Vulcan. I think if Endo goes in and out of here, gets this touch, and then just a little bit better landing or softer touch, ends up being perfectly on a platter for a long shot the other way. Vulcan going to give Endo a taste of their memory right back. Memory, uh-oh, did I leak something? Taste of their medicine. Is it memory? Failed pogo from Vulcan. Might not matter. Endo actually had a bit of an awkward landing on the back wall, but managed to make the save anyways, and then went far too aggressive on the kickoff. Vulcan going to make it 4-1. Vulcan on the air dribble, lost it, and it's a freebie for Endo. Right now, Endo is basically relying on Vulcan getting so relaxed that they go for some crazy aerial play, and there's an open counterattack. Endo is going to need to get a bit of their offense going themselves. Not a bad kickoff win. Heavy touch out of the corner. One that they can get back to and just barely can't put on target. I mean, right now, Endo just getting dominated by these small bumps in the midfield. Plays are not really the worst plays ever, just not doing a good job of positioning his car in spots where Vulcan can't get to it. Endo challenged as Vulcan immediately ends their possession, and it's looking like Vulcan is on their way to a round 1 win. Vulcan wants the back wall double, and did Endo just launch that all the way to like the field into the net? Again, only counterattacks are available for Endo. It's not really a great sign until Endo starts putting in a little bit of offense of their own, but that's a pretty good read off the back wall. Perfect punish for Vulcan going for a stylish back wall double when they really didn't need to. Flick top rights. Vulcan able to make that save. Endo now on 0 boost. Knows that Vulcan has been looking for those bumps left and right, and is trying to play it a little bit smarter. Wanted the pre-jump to pop, and yet the ball went perfectly over the top, and Endo could not get back. What a play. Even though the pre-jump was coming, Vulcan just got so far underneath the ball and just let it soar over the top of everybody. Vulcan flipping away off the reset in order to not bring the ball into Endo, and then using the rest of his boost after Endo missed to then fly back to the ball and get the finish. Unfortunately, it's an absolute slaughter so far in favor of Vulcan. Endo on the board. Kickoff goals and counterattacks. That's where Endo's been able to score. But until the game is within reach, it's hard to really say whether or not Endo has found any momentum. Trying to get up to cut off Vulcan. Vulcan has 100 boost now. Boost management for Endo could be a bit better. Seems like they're finding themselves completely out of boost so often and could not make this save. It's a pre-flip flick from Vulcan. which puts the ball directly behind Endo in a spot where they don't feel like they can make the save. They couldn't swing wide enough to get around and clear it into the corner. Endo play out of the midfield, lean back into the resets. Nothing comes of it. Vulcan able to just wait on the goal line. Vulcan sealing resets, bailing out of it, immediately going for those bump plays. Doesn't seem to want to ever play against Endo. You know, I don't want to say a fair fight. Makes it sound like he's almost cheating by bumping, but he doesn't want anybody to be playing at their normal speed. He wants it to be a physical, bumpy type game that has them scrambling, because that has heavily favored Vulcan, so it makes a lot of sense. Vulcan gonna get a wall to air duel with 100 boost, going to the ceiling. Endo trying to transition back down to the ground. Vulcan went high, the save was made, and the counterattack should be a goal. So I think it should be a goal. No, Endo! Endo, it wasn't a ton of boost. Needed to save like a pad or two for the hook shot, but did not get any power. So it is no goal for Endo. And I don't think Endo can afford to miss those. It was a tough position to play in already, and not converting on those opportunities is not something Vulcan's going to let you get away with, it would seem. Endo will get a goal, though, and that's a good possession. Not tilting out of the moon after not being able to score, holding on to possession, eventually getting their goal. Vulcan going to get a kickoff goal, though, to guarantee it. Endo zap dashing up the side wall. Losing possession over to Vulcan, who has went for a double reset and got denied. Endo has at least prevented the massive clips. Leaning back into a flick to make this one within 3. But it's clear that this first round has been a bit of light work for Vulcan. Maybe one attempt for the road for Endo, but it's not going to happen. Vulcan wins 3-0. In fact, we might even just go here because that gets bugged. Vulcan 3-0 win. Who do you guys think was the blue player? Which was Endo. Who was Endo? I'll get a few of your guys' guesses. You guys can vote real quick. I see AJ, Reddles, Cosmic, Life, Zapatos, Nolly, Creams, Evo, Feer, Juicy. Juicy? No, I'm not going to go Juicy. It's not a... We'll go Forky. Someone mentioned Forky before. Chat is looking like they're going with Reddles. I don't even need to go through this too much. Chat had Reddles as Endo. Who is Vulcan, chat? I see First Killer. I see Justin. I see Evo. I see Daniel. I see Nas. I see Chronic. I see Wavy. I see Appjack. I see Frosty. And I see, I need a new unique one, Squishy. And you're guessing right now that Vulcan is either Daniel or First Killer. And you guys seem pretty split on that. So you need to figure it out. Here, I will, let's do this. Let's start again. Who was Vulcan? Because you guys are clearly deciding between Daniel and First Killer. Just pick between the two of them. Wow, you guys are still like neck and neck. Okay. Have you guys figured it out? You have 4 votes ahead for First Killer. And no one, I think just about everyone has voted because I'm not seeing any movement on the prediction at all. So let's just go ahead and finish it and put First Killer down. for your guys' guess for Vulcan. I also have the players' guesses. I'm not going to reveal their guesses because I think that they're, historically, when we've done this in the past, they're pretty good at the game, and they're maybe too good at the game. So I don't want to tell you what they guessed because it might be basically like a leak.